Okay, bad news, I got a bit of a spoiler about this game. The replay file had the strategy of one of the players in its title. Good news though, I see that Protoss is not hatch blocking. That's awesome. That's gotta be a pylon probe. Well, I think I better get to those intros. Our Protoss player can be visual, he can be graphic, he can be fine, he can be all of these things because he's ArT! You may recognize ArT because we recently showcased him as a Chiron player. But this is his pro race. He is Protoss. It's a gate and go. And our Zerg player is going to have the luxury of taking his natural. You don't get to see that very often on the map, Blackburn. Oh, both players' scouts are going to spot one another as they pass. One more intro. Our Austrian Zerg player just might have self-image issues because he's HateMe! Who's throwing hate on an Austrian Zerg player? Not me, I'll tell you that. Anywho, we got ourselves an extractor pool for Zerg. And ArT's accumulating minerals like he wants to go Nexus before Core. He conjures a large sphere of light for 400 minerals. And he's got a nice gap in his wall which looks like it could use a cyber core, yes. Anyways, what I was trying to allude to earlier is that one of our two players has a special build plan for us today. If I wind up talking about it before it happens, it's not because I have some amazing Starcraft skill. My only skill is that I was able to read the replay title. Oh, there's an early third for HateMe. We've seen this a couple times before. It means that Zerg's not going to be able to get that double queen right away. The natural pops, and it's just a single queen being made at the natural, nothing at the main. Just 2 lings to support it. Core is going to complete for Protoss. There is a tech stashing pylon in the main. It's going to be a chrono boosted adept. No warp gate research. Is ArT taking notes from the Golden Armada? He should be thankful he's not facing off against Queenbot. Definitely not because HateMe starts up ling speed. Okay, ArT does go and start up warp gate research, but only after he puts down a Stargate. Lings are chasing that scouting probe, but they're gonna be rescued by that adept. Once the lings pull back, so does that shade. So it's gonna be a Stargate opener for ArT. Looks very standard for both our players so far. I've got reason to believe that it will not be, so I'm gonna keep an eye out here for us. The adept's gonna try to take a tour of the Zerg base, see if she can get anything done. She spots the oddball timing on that third. Shades in the mineral line. Oh, it's a fake. That must have been tempting. There were only 2 lings there. HateMe knows he got lucky. He quickly makes 6 more. It's a void ray coming out of that Stargate. It's chrono boosted. Ling speed's gonna finish up. That's gonna make life more difficult for that adept. There's a second adept guarding that wall, and it's gonna get filled in with a second gateway. And the original adept's gonna come back home to bolster it. The void ray is finished, and there's gonna be an oracle behind it. Ling speed finishes up, and it's all econ for the Zerg. He's going for drones and queens. The void ray finds the scout lord, and that's gonna be our first blood, I believe. Yes, it is. HateMe did get supply blocked by that. He's running in some lings to see if he can stall that third base. Not gonna happen with that void ray there. So the opening minutes do not look good for Protoss in my humble opinion because Zerg is going heavy on economy and Protoss is playing very defensively. An undisturbed Zerg is a problem down the road. Is that a robo for the Protoss? Yes it is. ArT also grabs his gases 3 and 4. Okay, here we go. The Oracle's gonna look to see if it can do something to slow down that Zerg. Meanwhile, lings in the top left are looking to see if they can do something nasty to that third base. The answer to that is probably no because the void ray is still there. The Oracle discovers that the natural and the main are not connected by creep and he can sneak in there. Oracle drops the revelation and then he pulls out of there. Those glowing triangles look impressive, but they really just provide vision. Though as always in the right situations, visions can be a pretty big deal. I don't have anything against the Scarlet Witch or the other Avengers, I'm just saying that vision is important. I mean, the dude's got an infinity stone in his forehead. Okay, that would be a fleet beacon. And now we can see Protoss getting funky. He's tech jumping. You don't normally see Protoss do a fleet beacon when he's only got a single Stargate. So whatever Protoss is doing is weird, and you've probably divined that whatever my big spoiler is, it has to do with ArT, our Protoss. I mean, you see that Oracle, he's not looking for pulsar beam attacks. He's not diving in. He's being conservative, and he's grabbing himself some vision. Zerg's getting a lair, and he's making drones 10 at a time. No Baneling Nest, no Roach Warren. This is a greedy Zerg strat, and he's already up to 70 drones. And there it is, people. It's a mothership rush for Protoss. Oh, more greed out of the Zerg. He's going for the gold base. So suddenly I like what ArT is doing a lot. And this explains why we don't see +1 air retention, because you don't really need it. Oh, there's ArT proving me wrong. Just after I accuse him of being conservative, he sneaks in and drops a stasis ward. A little economic damage, but not a lot. The Zerg economy is already humming. But now, HateMe needs to spend it on some kind of defense. Because look at this. While HateMe's building 13 more drones, ArT is going for a gateway explosion. He's going up to 7 gates. And you might be asking, what does 7 gates have to do with the mothership? 2 things. 1, he wants a ground army that he can cloak with his mothership. Oh, Oracle spots the gold. That's an important scout. And 2, there is a lesser seen strategy called mass recall. We often see the tactical recall from the Nexus, but the mothership can fly into an opponent's base and recall units right into his opponent. Oh, ArT's adding a warp prism, don't know how that fits in. HateMe's getting himself a spire. He really is skipping that Roach Warren. Oh, here comes Mummy, I love this moment. Behold the wonder that is the mothership! Oh, I blew that timing. You know you're a beautiful unit when you still look good in pink. It looks like it's made out of rose gold. Okay, so the mothership is immediately flying over to the opposing main. And there's the army getting warped in from all the gates. I'm very stoked because I do think this is going to be a mass recall. And HateMe's got almost no army. Just queens and a handful of Zerglings that are out of the base. Oh, and the Void Ray's gonna block the Overseer from seeing it. There is a creep tumor to spot the mothership coming in, but that could be too late. HateMe suspects something's up. He's getting his queens into position. Oh, and he's making corruptors. Could he shut the mothership down? Oh, ArT needs to go now. I think he's missing his window. Is he waiting to get blink or something? 17 corruptors in production. I kid you not, 17. The sky is gonna turn black with tentacled beings from the Matrix. The mothership's been revealed. ArT's gotta go now. The corruptors are out. They're looking to block this. Mothership rolls in. Who's got this? Corruptors attack. There is so much DPS on that mothership, but he gets the recall off. The mothership dies, but the Protoss is in the main. The corruptors can't shoot down, so they can't do anything but die to those stalkers. Sentry drops at force field to block the ramp. There's no queens in the main. ArT owns the Zerg's main. HateMe might even be trying for a base race. His corruptors are going right over to the Protoss base. But there's a warp in the stalkers at home. They don't have blink yet. Oh, this is awesome, but HateMe is in a rough spot here. I feel like this is a strategy you'd see in a Wings of Liberty game. I look away for 2 seconds and the Zerg main is already gone. Oh, caustic spray on the 3rd. Look how quickly that goes down. Did I say that the Zerg can't shoot down? I guess I'm wrong. But caustic spray, of course, can only target structures. Ling's trying to defend, but there are sentry shields. Oh, this is a well-thought-out Protoss build. The Zerg has walked right into it. Quadruple transfused by those queens trying to stay in, but it won't save them. It's GG. Yes, it was a mothership rush with a mass recall. That just happened. We gotta talk about that after a brief dance. So, this is the Stargate opener that is not actually a Stargate play. The brilliance of it is that because of the long-standing meta, the Zerg player mistakenly thinks it's Void Rays or possibly Void Rays into carriers. But really, Protoss is secretly building a ground game, Immortal Sentry backed by Stalkers. 17 corruptors are awesome, but not particularly awesome against stalkers. And if you don't believe me, just ask Sue his opinion after this legendary game he had against Neeb. Now, if HateMe had banelings, he might have had a chance at holding this off, but I think ArT's plan was to use the sentry's force fields to hold the banelings off. But with no ground defense, HateMe really lost the game as soon as that mass recall went off. And ArT cut that one pretty close. The corruptors almost stopped the recall, and if they did, Zerg would have had at least a chance of making some ground units before the actual assault came. So what does Zerg do here? I think the key is the scouting. If your opponent is making void rays, count them. Why is there only one? And even more strange, why can't my Ling scouts see any air attacks being researched in the cybercore in the Protoss wall? It might be your opponent has decided to transition away from air, but if that's the case, you need an immediate roach warren all the same. This is a build where, in my opinion, if you figure out it's coming, it should be something you can stop. But here, ArT sold it in such a way and so well that HateMe just didn't see it coming. He actually had 84 drones when the attack hit, and just not enough actual attacking units. In the end, that gold base didn't do that much for him. So congratulations to ArT. Thank you to him for bringing us an old favorite with a modern twist. To continue your StarCraft journey, Nova advises you to click the video in the upper rectangle. But Kerrigan warns you to watch your 6 and click the video in the bottom rectangle. Or you can stimpack your StarCraft experience. Subscribe to Zugzwang StarCraft. Just hit the circle. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out.